Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Benjamin Binge HD Novotny, and thank you all for your patience. We are finally going to be getting this game started and underway.
Radiant team, Dire team, done.
All right, so we can see the bans coming out very early on. That was the first ban going on to, as you will can plainly see, Bounty Hunter. And of course, I believe this is our follow-up ban going into. I can't be sure who this is just from looking. It's not Faceless Void. It can't be Faceless Void. I think it's Razor. And then I think this is Dragon Knight getting banned, but I'm not certain again. And is this Zeus? Is this Zeus getting banned? I honestly can't tell. At any rate, we've got two very high-tier Chinese teams going at it in a competition.
Dire team, remaining. Radiant team, pick. Dire team, pick. Clockwork.
First pick coming out is going to be Clockwork, followed by two bans. I'm sorry, followed by the two bans will be a pick onto Clockwork coming from PPX. So that is going to help them, I guess you'd say, get a little bit more initiate and potentially some breakaway potential with this character.
5 seconds.
Let's not forget also the facts, not the facts, but the stacks that can be combined with Clockwork if they were to get a Shadow Fiend on their team. I mean, the Clockwork pick speaks volumes right now, and I think what they're doing on the newbie young side of things is potentially discussing more over, you know, how are we going to react in terms of a ban coming out on PPX. Okay, so we're going to have Tusk as well as Disruptor. Shadow Fiend, indeed, it is going to be. That can be quite a strengthy start using Clockwork and Shadow Fiend on the same team. Stacks early on in the game can add an additional, I think it's 26 damage to what Shadow Fiend does with some of his abilities or auto attacks. So now we're just waiting for the next phase of bans to come out. And there we are. It's going to be Puck. Mobility, some initiate. Quite a source of damage just removed with Puck coming off of this. And Queen of Pain is gone. That is, I would say, obviously a damage source. Not just by the name, but of course the abilities that Queen of Pain is able to deal out.
Radiant team, ban.
Ice Mage was banned. Okay, so that's a powerful support. In some ways, with the correct itemization, can be used in, at least in my experience, some troll picks with a Shadow Dagger that can result in near insta-kills, but what do I know? I'm probably only a 1k MMR player. Still waiting for that pick to come out, or rather that ban to come out, excuse me, from PPX. Looks like it is. I can't identify that. Is that Phantom Lancer? I can't tell based on the portrait. Alright, so now we have the next phase of picks coming in, and that's going to be Newbie Young going for it.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant Dire.
Faceless Void.
Faceless Void pick is coming out, so it looks like I was wrong about the ban. Stupid me. Doom is going to be the response pick coming in from PPX. And Faceless Void, I mean, that can be an insane hyper carry. Should not be underestimated by any means.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
We're now waiting for Newbie Young to come out with their second pick on this side of things before we see the final wave of bans coming in from both sides. just keep on waiting for the next phase, and there's still a minute to work with in terms of the bans, but they don't want to waste too much time. Gyrocopter is going to be the pick. Sorry, I should have said pick. Very interesting damage source. I do know that compared with Tiny, he can be very strong. Let's not also forget the potential for a stun, and a near inevitable stun that we're talking about, actually.
5 seconds remaining.
It just simply depends on what character you play, what hero you play.
Dire team down.
Elder Titan, yeah. Oh, thank you for the correction. Thank you.
Radiant team ban.
Okay, Luna's coming out now, and she can be very strong, as I've seen. But if it's one thing that drives me crazy is if we see an extremely fed Shadow Fiend, then that's something that could potentially be unstoppable.
5 seconds remaining.
Still waiting now for that fifth and final ban coming out. Still waiting. Alright, so there we are. And I'm just going to be straight with you guys on this one. I cannot identify who that last ban was. So now here come the final
10
picks.
seconds remaining.
Based on what I've seen previously in the present meta, the present patches, everything that is
Remaining.
possible, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. But it feels like they're missing support, maybe? At least I said it up front, guys, right? At least I said it up front.
Dire team pick.
All right, Oracle. I believe this is the first time I've seen this hero picked. Now we're going to see the final pick coming out from Newbie Young. One thing that I'd say definitely has a lot of potential is
10 seconds remaining.
obviously Faceless Void, simply based on the fact that if he gets fed enough, he can,
Remaining.
like, in combination with the right ultimate and as well as itemization, we could see something like him being able to melt virtually nearly any hero on the enemy team. It just depends on where things go in the late game. We saw an amazing game yesterday on a Lycan. Tinker. Now this is a hero I tried playing extensively previously before, and he's an amazing pusher is what he is. If he's correctly itemized and if he can get fed at the right time and the right point in the game. Typically, like I've only previously seen people playing Tinker on mid lane. The Boots of Travel are going to be very critical to put on him, as well as the reload ability, just being able to use cooldowns, or rather get those cooldowns reset ASAP. And this is where we have to see Kaido become an extremely potent, what's the word I'm looking for? An extremely potent, just extremely potent with his early game and his last hits and denies. Really, he's gonna he's going to have to depend a lot on CS and some ganks in some ways. And I mean it when I say just about every inch that he can gain in the early game is going to get him a mile in the late one. All right, so let's check the itemization early game. Okay.
Prepare for battle.
Just trying to show you guys everything that I can. All right, there we go. Back at base, of course, we're gonna have the stacks getting put onto our Shadow Fiend. He's already got 7 of them, and if I'm not mistaken, he can get somewhere in the range of 20 before he has to go to lane. I've previously seen Clockwork in these kinds of situations played as an off laner or a roamer. It's 10, so you can see that's how much damage he's worth right now, and I think they'll do one more of these before they go to lane, and this should be worth 20 something damage altogether. Right, so it's basically worth an additional 26 bonus damage, so that's good on them, and that's what's going to help them. But I nearly missed this early game gank, and that is pretty big. That one goes to Coldbird. ... Yeah. And that's going to be who getting away with this? It's going to be on our Disruptor, but check this out. We got another early gank coming on. I don't think this was expected. And it looks like Tinker, he kind of put himself in an awkward position there. If I'm not mistaken, he actually locked... I'm sorry, not Tinker. He locked himself in with Tinker. Is that what... Is that... The Clockwork locked himself in with a Tinker. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I've had a long day. Let's put it that way. And I'd like to humbly ask for you guys' forgiveness. But for long story short here, my Dota 2 knowledge is not as good as some other games' knowledge. Let's leave it at that. I mostly play shooter games. I'll just be blunt with you guys. But thanks for tuning in. Really, I mean it. We will have a more knowledgeable caster later on this evening. There is a pause coming in. That one's called by Kaido. And both sides are saying go. Top lane, everything is looking okay. Gonna take things on last hits and denies now, and it looks like this is where we have our Shadow Fiend kind of propelling early game. That's a lot of denies. Like, I think this is the first time I've seen that many denies over last hits, to be honest. And so what he's doing here is he's also, you know, I mean, it's common sense. He's keeping that Tinker from leveling up, and this is going to work against the Dire side as time goes on. If I was Mau Mau right now, I'd be pretty upset. But that trap in there... Okay, well, here we go. Xiao Xiao Sala is running away, and I don't know if he was actually going to be able to make it out. It's 1-for-1 in the exchange thus far. Now it's Shadow Fiend versus Tinker. This might be Tinker's chance to come back at this, but it looks as though he's not quite going to pursue that that follow-up kill. He's going to do some harass, which is very worthwhile. And check out that snowball. Wait, this could just actually turn into a gank. And that was the laser that Tinker needed. Nicely done by Mau Mau. This is actually pretty good for him. Let's go back and check and see what that was overall in the kills. That's Tinker getting away with a double kill. And that was... Oh, it's just... I don't... What... This... This is where you have to ask yourself, if you're on the Radiant side, was it worthwhile for us to go for that that engage, that exchange? And really, if you're Tinker, or not Tinker, if you're Clockworks right now, you're thinking to yourself, man, I really screwed up, and it's just like maybe I did something to really hurt my teammate. But it's still the early game, and we can see how things continue to develop as time goes on. I'm sorry if it sounds like it's a completely biased cast, but I have that limited game knowledge. I remember I enjoyed playing Tinker, but yeah. Okay. Checking things out here, back towards the top jungle. Things are looking pretty dandy. I mean, right now, at least for the Dire side, they're kind of taking control of that region. They're trying to prevent the Radiant from pushing back into it. And of course, here's Doom going to be accompanied by now, rather, Oracle. And at mid, it looks like I couldn't quite identify what was happening there. I'm not sure if I missed an exchange, but here we are. This is a 1 versus 2. It's looking like a bit of a tarp coming in. Of course, I meant to say trap, guys. At mid lane,
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Mao Mao versus Xiao Xiao Sala, or with Xiao Xiao Sala, and there they're going for that gank attempt one more time. Mao Mao is on the laser. He's going to do some damage. That, however, Xiao Xiao Sala looks like he's going to have difficulty getting away. He won't, in fact. That's going to be an exchange. And I think as long as they got that Tinker, that pusher, that lane pusher, just a little bit more fed, I think that they think it's worth it. But the question is, how does that build in towards their late game strategy? It feels as though the Shadow Fiend plan did not quite go as planned. No pun intended, or redundancy intended. Count the Korgs too, caster. It counts as denies. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I did not know that. Okay, now I'm such an idiot. Okay, here we are, bot lane, gank, and it looks like Luna's in some real trouble. Gonna be having our Oracle trying to come in and save this, and it looks like, at least for the moment, we'll be seeing Luna live on a little bit longer, but that is a very close position to Kaido. I would not want to try and get in touch with that. By the way, this says Qing Tiange. I think that's his first and last name in Chinese. Positive that's what it is. This says Cold Bird, honestly, on our Doom player. Here for Disruptor, that's just ... It's not an illegible font or anything like that. It just says ... That's it. Shadow Fiend is looking like he's in some serious trouble once again. Not from a 2-man gank, but a 3-man, and this time he's trapped. And that is going to be Murder, She Wrote. Clockwork comes in just a little bit too late here. It's good for early game synergy, of course, putting Clockwork in there, and it looks like the response coming from the Dire side, from Newbie as a whole, has just been overkill at mid lane, and they've been giving it no exceptions, as you can see here with Nier falling now. That's not to say that right now we see PPX in a completely awful position. I mean, they've got 3 kills. They've just got to make it work to their advantage. One of those was at mid lane, so it's kind of counterbalanced at this point in the game. More than counterbalanced, actually, by the Dire side. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and take it back to net worth now. On the tab, on the panel. I try to keep it here most of the time, but early game I'd like to put on last hits and denies. And Doom is looking like he's in some trouble. That feeding, or rather the... How do I say this? Well, it looks like this might slightly backfire. Yes, indeed it did for Newbie, just a little bit. But now they're still looking for Doom. And he hasn't been found just yet. They managed to go positive in the trade here. Here's the static attacks. They are backlashing. They trap the players in. They go for the engage, and it looks like it's traded 1 for 1. And this might be a little bit too much for PPX to handle. In the end, this is still profitable for Newbie, so nicely done by them. Newbie Young, that is to say.
You get nothing. Denied.
Okay. Right now, that Tinker is really putting the hurt on our Shadow Fiend here. And I'm wondering, let's check and see what he's actually building right now.
Got it.
The basics, nothing wrong with that. I want to see, like, is he going for the boots or not?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bot lane, not too much happening at this moment in time. It seems like it's not, you know, a pretty shoved lane. It's not extremely pushed. The tower isn't direly close to falling at any point in the near future. But I'm gonna look at what's happening here, and did I see that right? Yeah, this is Clockwork's been spotted by that ward. He should have been spotted by that ward. I'm pretty sure he was. He just decides to abandon that crusade, if you will, of trying to make any amazing plays happen. But was that intentional by chance? Good question. Doom takes it down. Now here we are. Back at mid once more. I'm wondering if there was a failed gank that I might have missed. Top lane, Tinker catches wind of company coming at him, I imagine. Alright, so that inevitable stun missile is coming at him, and it looks like he has been, against his will, translocated to a location that he didn't want to be in. Shadow Fiend rushing up here from mid, and looks like he wasn't able to do too terribly much there. Let's talk a little bit more about the builds thus far. Okay, so we got the Windlace, TP Scrolls. Okay, those are standard. Infused Raindrops on Disruptor.
A gift from the tempest of
Here
battle.
we are now.
Wish fulfilled.
Alright, just giving you guys a look at this because I really don't know how to identify this itemization at this stage in the game. I had no clue that the March of the Robots could be masked, or I'm sorry, March of the Machines could be, what's the word I'm looking for? Could be skinned. It looks like I just missed everything that happened at bot lane. I apologize, guys, but that's going to be 2 more into the pocket of newbie. And it looks like with all 4 of these players here, we're going to be seeing a tower fall. Almost inevitably, maybe.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tinker's just gonna keep on with the push at mid. The question is, though, with that knowledge at their disposal, are they going to take advantage of it and say, try to push the top lane,
Radiant structures are
push the top tower? It looks like that seems to be the response in some ways. We've got Luna there, we've got Oracle headed there right now, but Faceless Void is on his way back there. That's actually Kaido. He's ready to defend if he has to. Bot lane tower is gone now, and here we are. Fortifications going down on that top tower. March of the Machines coming in, and those are the Seeker missiles coming out now from our Tinker. But I'm wondering.
tower is under attack.
Yes, he's got the Boots of Travel, and this is where things get really out of hand, especially with Rearm coming in. That's a part of it. That's an essential part of the plan. You hop back to Fountain, you get your mana juiced back up, and then you start hopping around to towers, you push lanes. Oh, it's just so much crazy stuff is what's going on now.
Time is money.
Radiant's bottom
Not really crazy stuff, but I mean, this is where things start to escalate if you're on the dire side right now. Hold up, going back to top lane. Big fight coming in now, and it looks like we're going to be having a retreat now coming in from our Luna. Oracle trying desperately to get away, but it's not happening. He's trapped. That is it. That is just a cleanup on top lane. With that being said now, Newbie Young have all the prerogative in the world to take that tier 1 top tower if they want to.
tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Tusk is going to continue traveling around through the jungle, try and find some shortcuts or some unsuspecting players to gank. But there it is. Near miss on the trap there for a Shadow Fiend. I think it might have just been an off-shot timing coming from Tusk, but the same time, it is what it is.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Back at top lane. It looks like this is gonna be a tower that falls. It's going down, and it's not gonna be denied. No. So that's even more gold going to the Dire side. So that's good on that's good on newbie so far. Here we have another fight. It's just gank after gank after gank. Or rather, not even that. More like team fight after team fight after. And it's so much. At this point, it feels really gone. I saw an interesting game yesterday where the team's hyper carry, Team A's hyper carry, got fed versus Team B, who was just going on and killing every single member of the team. And it was an amazing game, to be honest. I would not have expected that to happen, but it was something else. Now we see an early play for Roche. You know, it looks like that's exactly what they're going for at this moment in time. Well, at this stage of the game, 15 minutes in. Newbie got the kills to do it. They made sure that they're pretty confident that even if the enemy team has vision, there's nothing that they can do. Let's go back here and check this out. Let's check, let's go back and check our, where is he? Shadow Fiend. There we go. This is far from ideal. Far from ideal. Just got a Void Stone, and I mean, we can just see that this is basically all the, how do I put this into words? This is all the stuff that you would expect to have mid-game, but right now what's happening for newbie is that they've taken the mid-game and automatically shifted it into the late game, or at least the early late game. What they would have now is basically what you expect to see for early late game play, or rather late game play. Here we go now. That's Faceless Void just going ham now on our Clockwork. And even without him doing any work to player who just fell, which is this guy from PPX, he still fell.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That Faceless Void is getting more and more fed as time goes on. I want to go ahead and just check up on his status for you guys. He hasn't died even once. That Tinker has died once, but that was, I can't remember at what stage in the game that was. At any rate, it is what it is at this point. Well, that's interesting. That's the first time I've seen anyone deny a teammate from being killed by the enemy team. I had no clue you could do that to this point in time. Like, the first time I've ever seen this in 5 years of casual Dota.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It looks like this is going to be, yeah, most likely a fallen middle tower, secondary tower, I might add, which is going to help. It's going to help newbie grow. Or yeah, I mean just that lead grow rather. 5 kills to 18 so far. The towers, all in favor of the players that are here. It's now going to be 3 walking away after 1 falls at the tier 2 top tower. Let's go back and see if we can find the itemization. Sorry, I should probably switch this back to net worth right now. That Corky. Okay, fire me now. I just said Corky. Gyrocopter. That Gyrocopter is really fed right now. Oh my god. You can say he's already got the Sage and Yasha if I'm looking at that correctly, right? Yeah. So at least I remember what those are. I knew this because back in the day I'd play a lot of Bloodseeker. And Sage and Yasha is a must-have on Bloodseeker. So I basically know it just by looking at the inventory.
Time is money.
Hand of Midas, here we go. I think this is to help him get a little bit more of a gain back into this match financially.
Smart money.
Look, you can just see it's black and white right now, the net worth. There we go. Just got our Tinker going crazy, pushing lanes left and right. Wherever he's got vision, he can jump there now. And it looks like this is going to be what's left of Team PPX now, just trying to shove whatever they can wherever they can. But this could be their untimely demise if they're not careful. We've got a smoke on our ... here. Disruptor. Go Faceless Void, just diving in there is gonna get away with one, maybe two if he pulls this off. If I'm not mistaken, that's a B. Wait, that's not a BKB activation, is it? Well, it's 1 for 1 as Doom does manage to get a kill on all of this. All right, here we go with our gyrocopter coming back to life. There it is, just March of the Machines after March of the Machines now. They want these towers gone, they want the fountain gone too, and it looks like this is gonna be it. Just, we can see it, clear 5-man wipe here. That should be, I would think, in some ways, maybe game, but they've still got to work down the barracks. And we can see that it's taking them a while to get the damage done to that turret that's necessary. We're going to see some people spawn back into this, but the fact that they don't have buybacks is scary. Or at least a majority, I wouldn't say a majority, but considerable number of those players don't have buybacks. Or maybe they can't even afford to use their buybacks. Yeah, I'm seeing your comments now in reference to the Corky guys. I do apologize. But right now, as it stands, it's a 4-to-1 ratio on average. Like, for every 1 kill that we see coming in from the Radiant side, there's 1 that exists. There's 4 on the Dire side, and that's the GG called. Should be the fountain exploding relatively soon. Even though they're trapped, there it is, there it is. I apologize, guys. I live in Taiwan, and in Taiwan, almost nobody plays Dota 2. Almost nobody. There's not even a competitive circuit. There's no competitive circuits or anything like that. I just wanted to apologize about that. But we saw an amazing early game, especially at mid, coming in from Newbie Young in this first match, and it just went every way it possibly could have in their favor. So that's good on them. Now, with that being said, guys, I'd like to take you guys into a brief commercial break, and then I'll give you guys a demonstration on how to use dropgun.com. I hope you guys are ready for some music and relaxing chill time. All right?
First blood.
Your middle tower is falling.
You think Kaka knew I stole his rum?
Hey, watch my head.
Hey, little buddy, it's in the bag.
XBet, best odds for esport and live betting. Unique gaming lines for all esport disciplines including Dota and CSGO, casino and live dealers. Highest payouts, 100% bonus on your first deposit. Wanna become as rich as Alchemist in a few simple clicks? Start playing on XBet.
Everything's better with Scepter. Oh, yeah!
Radiant victory.
XBet, best odds for esport and live betting. Unique gaming lines for all esport disciplines including Dota and CSGO. Casino and live dealers. Highest payouts. 100% bonus on your first deposit. Wanna become as rich as Alchemist in a few simple clicks? Start playing on XBet.
Hi guys, we are back. Okay, so I'm here to show you guys how to use dropgun.com. So, oh wait, what on earth? How did I get here? I guess I clicked on this by mistake. Sorry, hang on. Let's go back to the main website, or rather the main page. Alright. So we've got skins that are categorized by game. We've got PUBG, CSGO, and in our case, Dota 2. Alright, how about that? Okay. So, how about we open something that we think is going to be good? Still thank you for an English cast. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, later this evening we'll have a different caster, but let's go ahead and see what we can get. I'm looking at what do we want to have. All right, let's open maybe 3 of these courier cases and then see what happens. Interesting. Okay. Well, we got a pledgling. All right, let's try another one. This one looks like a keeper, so we got Baco. Cute little fella. You guys think we can keep him? I think we can. All right, let's do it. All right, so I said we were going to open 3. Here we are with Butch. And to be honest, although he looks cool, I want a cute courier. I think that's why I kept Keiko there just a minute ago. Alright, so we just tried the courier case. Let's how about we go for, you know, let's just try some wards because everybody needs to have wards, right? Alright, let's open this up. Double vision. Okay. Doesn't even really look too terribly worth. Let's try and get something else out of this. Okay, we're gonna try one more, guys. Yeah, it looks cool. It's great, but yeah, that's all it does. It doesn't look like something amazing, but this looks like something. You know what? Hold up. I know it's not worth that much in terms of money, but I mean, it looks cool, right? It stands out. It stands out. Okay, so now I think we can go ahead and check for some new cases. Okay, let's go for mega kills. Let's try that out. This will be our last go with this, and then what we'll do is we'll take it into a short break. and then we'll get into our next game. Mega kills pirate captain. Sounds a little bit cheesy. Fallout 4? I think we can keep this. Let's just click try again for one more and then leave it at that. Bristleback. Doesn't look like anything amazing. Okay, so for that being said, not being done, how about we take things into a short break? Once again, I just want to give you guys a quick rundown on everything that's available under all of these. Lycan, agility hero cases. If they had one that was meant only for Bloodseeker, I'd take that, but I mean, they don't have that here. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, never mind. That's just, yeah. I think we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it on the. We're gonna do some. We'll do some more cases later on this evening, guys. We'll be back after a few minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Benjamin Binge HD Novotny. Thank you all for your patience. I said any second now in chat, and it looks like we are here now with that second game. Of course, it looks as though we're going to be having Newbie Young going again with that second ban onto just straight away, if I recall correctly. If they were no, like this time they called out the first ban, which is just straight up going to be Bounty Hunter. Follow-up looks like was, if I'm looking at this correctly, is that Dragon Knight? And then Clockwork or Tinker on the third ban. Meanwhile, coming in for PPX, they went with, is that a ban on Tusk? Is that a ban on Tusk, I think? Potentially. But let's go ahead and read some names out. Up here, we've got Jia Jia, Xiao Xiao Sala, Mao Mao, ... This guy likes to keep a low profile. He's a stand-in. Then we're going to have Kaido. Meanwhile, for PPX, we're going to have Nier. We're going to have Cold Bird. That's what this says. Then we're going to have this. It says, I think this is his name in Chinese, like his literal Chinese first and last name. It says Chu Tiange. Literally, this means heavenly song, but you can literally make poetic names in China. And then we've got a stand-in named M31, and then .290. I'm wondering if this is in reference to a bullet caliber of some sort or another. I can't be entirely certain. Omni Knight gonna be the first pick coming in for Newbie Young. Razor coming in from response. He's gonna have stuns available on him as well as some reasonable damage. Rubik is going to be the second pick coming in from PPX.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team done. Radiant team done.
All right, Shadow Shaman is going to be the second pick coming from
10
Newbie Young.
seconds remaining.
Ban on Lycan coming in from
5 seconds remaining.
PPX. And you know, I mean, Lycan, he's one of those champions. God, here I am using a terminology from another game. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, so Lycan is basically, you know, he's just one of those heroes that if he gets really fed, almost no matter what the status of his other teammates are, he could be comparable to Shadow Fiend sometimes. If he gets fed and stays fed all throughout the game, he just can't be stopped. He's one of those heroes in the game, as I've learned yesterday anyway. So, I mean, totally respectable ban coming in from PPX, just seeing the potential of something like that. Although we didn't see, I don't think we saw that ban coming in the previous game. And I don't think, well, Newbie Young didn't use it in the previous game either. And neither did PPX, if I recall correctly. So it's kind of interesting, but I think it's maybe something that they decided to do based on the picks that we saw coming from Newbie Young. All right, so that is a ban on. I cannot identify that hero, guys. I do apologize. I'm just gonna be straight about it. Sand King. Okay, so gonna have some smoke ability. And if I recall correctly, he's also got a stun on his person. Now it's time for Newbie Young to pick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Okay, so now we see Newbie Young going into that time pool, trying to make a good pick based on what they see thus far, coming from their enemy team, and also the bans, what their logic is behind this, things of that nature. Shadow Fiend is still on the table if I'm looking at the bans and picks correctly. Phantom Lancer as well, but I'm not entirely sure of the player capabilities, the individual player capabilities on each hero. All right, so we are still waiting to see where this is gonna go. Elder Titan. Okay. I'm just gonna have to be blunt about this one, guys. I don't know anything about Elder Titan and how to play him, or how he's used.
10 seconds remaining.
And I'm gonna say again, the last time I've ever actually played Dota 2 was back in 2016. For those of you who may just now be tuning in, the score is 1-0 in favor of Newbie.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
That time pool is getting a little bit low there for Newbie Young. Gonna have to make a choice soon. Chaos Knight, okay. And I'm gonna have to be blunt here and say I don't know how this hero is played at all.
Ten seconds remaining.
I just tried tooling around with like I think the last time I tried to go serious with Dota, I was just tooling around with a bunch of heroes that can be used in jungle. Bloodseeker. I never really tried any of this offlane stuff because like I just don't understand it. That last ban is coming in now for PPX. And is that's either Doom or Shadow Fiend if I'm looking at the portrait correctly. You guys can step in and correct me if I'm wrong. Please go ahead and do that.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Is that a Tinker ban? That's okay, so interesting. Both Newbie Young so Newbie Young put a ban on both Tinker and Clockwork. I guess it's like if they don't want to play with Tinker themselves, then they don't want to put that in the enemy hands, if I'm looking correctly. At that last ban, and now there's the last possible second coming in. Now it's I'm sorry, I read that wrong. The time bank will soon be yielding the last possible second. 3 seconds left. Death Prophet. Okay. I've seen this one used plenty of times. But I'm not sure what Death Prophet's specialty is, to be honest.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Final pick coming now in for PPX, and we're waiting to see where this goes. I do want to say, however, one of my favorite casters, and I know you guys are probably gonna blast me since I come from. I'm saying this based on another game, not Dota 2, but I'd say that definitely one of my favorite casters in the Dota scene would have to be Day9, just based on the fact that, you know, I mean, he came from the top of what was one of the lowest games of 2015 and 2016 on Twitch, and ironically enough, it was one of the games that started Twitch. Of course, I'm talking about StarCraft, and then he managed to successfully switch to Dota 2 simply based on the fact that not he was big in these things, but he put forth the effort to learn and he maintained a positive attitude. So Viper, I like this choice. Oh, he's kind of a he's an okay pick for new players, but also he can be a very big farming machine in the early and late game in some stages, if I recall correctly. So now we're just waiting for the next stage, which is to get everybody loaded in and ready to go with the game, and then we will get started. Pardon me, fatigue is getting to me. Had a long day, gonna have an even a longer day tomorrow. And I mean, that's a part of following your dreams, guys. Don't just let your dreams be dreams. I'm gonna say that right now. Nice timing on the pause. This way we get a slight read into what everybody's going for early game. Okay, there we go. I was a little bit skeptical of Rubik. I was thinking to myself, is he really just gonna go out there with a town portal and 2 scrolls? But looks like I stand to be corrected there. Alright. Okay. I don't see anything too out of the ordinary here. Excuse me. Early smoke coming in here. Sorry, I'm just staring at my screen and I'm kind of dazing away. Early smoke coming in here, and that is going to result in pretty big gank on a Shadow Shaman there. A TP isn't going to save him at this point, even if he could use it. And so that's going to be the stand-in being taken down pretty early on. Nicely done by PPX, getting that early kill. It does result in, of course, some financial reward. Doesn't really... I'm not an expert on Dota, but, you know, I would say that simply based on this...
Is a great conductor.
Simply based on what we have here, I don't think that's going to set them back too terribly much. I mean, he's able to get back to lane in a rather somewhat timely manner. And sorry, I should probably bring up the last hits and denies. God. Okay, so Jaja is going to be there with the stand-in. The unknown stand-in, I might add. Interesting bit of an exchange or fight that we have going on between these 2 towers at top on the Dire side. It's an interesting exchange, really. How did these 2 creeps get here? That's a good question to ask right now. But I mean, at this point, this allows some inadvertent... Hold on, I missed that. Was that a... Well, it looks like at bot lane, I'm not quite gonna miss this. There's no escaping this, it looks like. Yeah. Puck was ready to zap in front of that just to make sure that they could seal the deal on Jaja's head. And thus far, it's 2-for-1 in favor of PPX, interestingly enough. So, I mean, I guess, like, what was happening at top lane there actually allowed us to get some perspective as to what was... not what was, but, I'm sorry, allowed us to get some perspective as to how that helps out. And what that does is, obviously, it stops the... It lets the creep wave go directly into the tower. And it inadvertently denies some both XP and gold going to Razor.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Here we go. Looks like we might have another gank here. Is there any getting out of this? The TP scroll cannot be used for another 13 seconds as Chaos Knight is now trying desperately to get out of this position. Puck going a little bit low here, but all in all, that's going to seal the deal, and Jaja's going to be donating another 173 gold to the PPX side of things. Now we've got Shadow Shaman coming in, and he is down and out for this as well. Nice little pickup coming in for PPX. Sorry, let's just things out at top. I almost missed this. Sorry. Gotta moderate chat. Gotta keep you guys under control. Come on, come on. Don't make me do this, guys. Don't make me do this. So, 3 kills in the last 10 seconds, and it's been another Jaja going down here at bot lane.
I'll take your tribute.
A prize.
Okay, here we go. That's going to be Mal Mal. Trying to take down 290. Teammates that are smoked behind him. You know, it's kind of hard to convince someone with lower HP to go after you at mid lane, but looks like this is a slight counter gank with Sand King coming in here. 3 versus 4 in this present position. Technically, although we don't see the Viper quite involved in the fight just yet. It's going to be Xiao Sala going down first, and that is going to put PPX just a little bit further ahead in their total economy. Let's take things back to net worth. Alright, here we go. Death Prophet looks like he could be in some trouble here, but does backpedal on out of there without much of issue whatsoever. It's going to be Jaja now, coming back to bot lane, and I mean, I just want to go over how many times he's died thus far. This is him? Yeah, 3 deaths in the past 2 to 3 minutes, and it looks like it might be 4 if he's not careful. He doesn't actually have a TP scroll here, and that's Puck diving in now. Oh boy, this isn't good. This looks like it's going to be the 4th. Maybe I was wrong. Puck looks like this is going to be him in danger this time around, and there's going to be 299 going into the pocket of Cold Bird. That's what these 2 characters here mean. But of course, Cold Bird has 2 meanings in Chinese. Hang on. Ah, boy. That's a little bit of an overzealous Elder Titan getting taken down. And that's going to be at least a little bit worthwhile. I hope it doesn't really keep... it really doesn't keep PPX ahead in this situation, but it doesn't work entirely against them. I'm sure that with the CS, the creeps coming in here, that they will be able to at least be able to counterbalance that in some ways. At least, most certainly with this next wave coming in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Assuming they're able to get all of those creeps. Oh boy, mid lane, we're gonna have some trouble. That Viper looks like he's not gonna be able to get out of this situation. He will, in fact, fall.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We're gonna be having the stun coming in, and Rubik in a very desperate situation he can't get out of. This is Newbie coming back just slightly in this game. The question is, can they keep that momentum rolling, keep the ball rolling, I'm sorry, on that momentum? And now they're trying to take down that mid lane tower. Nothing wrong with this.
Tower is under attack.
No objections whatsoever. It's going to be such a long time before we can see either of these guys get back to mid lane. We do have the TP scroll being activated now, and that is going to be assist from 2 players going in. They didn't quite manage to take down the turret, and now all of a sudden it looks like possibly Omni Knight could be in trouble. He's now using his phase boots to get him out of there. Lots of damage done, but he will not be able to get away in the end. There was another player falling in the background, and it looks like PPX is going to punish this at mid lane. Punishes a greedy team that is not strong enough financially to withstand this, and that turns into 4 kills
Middle tower is under attack.
in favor of PPX. All for 1 player that they lost there, if I'm not mistaken. They're not going to go for the tower, which is alright. It's their prerogative. They just made a bunch of money off of those kills at mid. They probably want to spend it just a bit. Get paid, cash the check, have fun.
Gold is a great conductor.
Here we are now. We're going to be seeing Viper getting taken down, and that's the second time he's died there, isn't it? Pretty sure. Well, now we should be seeing that mid lane turret going down here.
Dire's middle tower has
Tower,
fallen.
excuse me. Meanwhile, in top lane, nothing too out of the ordinary happening here. Just some Farmville getting played between both sides. And Standon's definitely managing to maintain a pretty strong position in that regards. He's actually at the top of the last hits and denies. And it looks like this might actually deny his economy just slightly, his personal economy. Well done by Newbie. Just bringing things back oh so slightly.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
So here we are now. That top turret, that top tower will most likely be going down here. I don't think there's any stopping that. We do, however, see that Xiaosal is in a bit of trouble, at least in terms of his HP. Meanwhile, mid lane,
Radiant's middle tower
Radiant
has
loses a tower in exchange for the top one. Not too bad. Oh, the TP out. It's such a clutch manner, to be honest.
Radiant
I mean, you can just see it.
structures
Chaos
are
Knight is
fortified.
very happy to get out of there alive.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bot lane. Looks like maybe we'll be seeing Razor taking down this turret, but as I say, that Death Prophet does step in, begins with a bursting, and is going to continue on the chase. Hasn't even burned an ulti,
Radiant's bottom tower is under
may not
attack.
necessarily need to in order to get this kill. Of course, it's best to be used in groups of enemies, but it looks like Razor will hold on to this by the skin of his teeth. So he is most grateful to be alive in this situation.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
By the way, guys, we want to thank Overpowered for providing the assets necessary for making this game possible. We also want to thank xbet.co as well as dropgun.com for making this tournament possible. Looks like now we're going to be seeing a Radiant push onto the second mid tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's going to be Xiao Sala falling somewhere in the background. I did miss that. I apologize.
Radiant's
But
top tower has fallen.
Radiant top tower just went down, as you guys could clearly hear. And that was Puck taking it down. Good on Cold Bird.
Radiant's top
Viper's going to be
tower is under
pushing
attack.
now bot. And I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied.
Good on Omni Knight. Kaido goes ahead and denies that. And that is going to just prevent any gold from going into the pockets of PPX. So wherever we can see... Hold that thought. Bit of an exchange coming here at mid, but there's a bit of a counter exchange coming in, courtesy of that Elder Titan. Right. I'm trying to find the words to describe this. Wherever newbie can, they are going to try and deny giving any advantage to that of PPX. Of course, that means they denied the tower long before they had any knowledge of anyone's presence in bot lane. Rather, I think I'm corrected by that, but hold that thought. It looks like we did just have an exchange that I missed, and it looks like this is going to be a double kill now in favor for newbie, and that is something that could heavily work back in their favor. In fact, they could definitely go for the second lane, I'm sorry, for the second top lane turret here. Tower, excuse me.
Dire structures.
I'd say with all those serpent wards there, most likely that's going to be the case. Just, it's a matter of time is what it is. But it's not a law, it's not a natural law. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is kind of spread out here, trying to make sure that they are able to keep track of this happening. So it's a lot of damage you see Kaido taking here in this regards, but at the same time they got away with that turret. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, tower. Meanwhile, at mid lane we do see, you know, somebody getting their jimmies rustled, if you will.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Here we are. Now this is a counterplay? No, no, no. This is punishment coming in from the PPX side of things. They just realized they caught two players kind of out of position in their own jungle, and that is going to get them 3 kills. Now they have all the prerogative in the world to counter push into mid lane and top lane. Viper, you know, given like he's kind of in a respectable place right now, he's just comfortable pushing at mid. I thought. Well, looks like he's gonna get ganged up on right now, and that is just, he's gone. That's all she's gonna write for him. Now it looks like Sand King is gonna get punished here. I don't think there's any surviving this one. No, not with 4 players chasing you down and all the CC in the world. But hang on. I think this... Okay, well, we could actually see Razor get into some deep shit stuff right now. Sorry about that language, guys. I almost let it slip. Almost let it slip. Right, and there's no escaping that. That was... Was that greed coming in from PPX? I don't know what to call that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nicely done. I mean, right now, this feels a little bit passive from both sides. It's like they only take the kills that they know they can get. They're not willing to gamble at all in that regards. So it's good for them. Here we are with a big smoke coming down on a good deal of these players. I'm wondering if this is like some kind of a bait play coming in with Chaos Knight there in that location. Are they trying to pull him in? Right now they're going past this ward and it's going to give away the position. It's an observer ward, not a vision ward. So the players that are still smoked... Wait, it's an observer ward. God. Alright, whatever. It's just... I don't think it's going to give away the position of the smoked players, if I recall correctly. Right? Observer wards don't do that, right? We got Rubik now looking for a counterplay into the mid. There we go. Looks like we might have something big going down here at mid soon.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There we go.
Dire's bottom tower has
Oh,
fallen.
that's one more gain for Newbie.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Hang on, big fight taking place here, and this could be really bad for Newbie. As I say that, however, they're returning the damage. We can see it happening. 1 for 1, 1 for 2 in favor of Newbie. 2 to 2, 3 for 2. Now we have to ask who can take more damage before falling, and it looks like Newbie is getting away with just a slight edge over this in that regards. Death Prophet's still alive, and that was a 2 for 3 exchange, if I saw that correctly. Now, what makes it more complicated is the buyback angle of the game. I can't really talk too much to that in that regard since I haven't really played this game too much before, but that's going to be Sand King coming in here getting really big, and that is going to get him, it looks like 2 maybe? Not sure, but that definitely counts in favor of PPX at this point. This is kind of a neck and neck game in some ways, but of course we can see that the kills... I want to go back to the net worth. Sorry about that. Forgot about that. It looks like there's really not much big difference. We can see that Newbie's got Death Prophet, who's at the highest net worth right now. And that's a significant gold net worth when you compare it to, say, what we have coming here from Standard. Hold that thought. We do have a bit. We have a gank here happening. That's going to be Sala. Just straight up falling here. PPX have control of the map right now. Like, they just have to assert and mark their territory more appropriately. Death Prophet just gonna try to gradually push that lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Like it is.
Okay. Hang on just a moment, guys. I need to add something to your screen. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it or not, but I'm gonna have to put this into autopilot mode for the time being and take myself absently from the commentary. Well, that is not looking pretty for PPX. They only managed to get 1 kill in return. I have no clue why this is so big. Hang on just a moment, guys. I'm gonna try and fix it.
All wands will break.
Okay, hang on just a second. Doing their best to save that fountain. Totally reasonable, but Sand King looks like he's gonna come in here and totally punish. Well, he was going to punish Kaito there, but he just figured it might not be worth his time to do that. Hang on. Well, this is wonderful. Hang on, guys. I'm trying my best to get this. There we go. To display properly, and it looks like I've come just a little bit closer to that.
Gold is a great conductor.
And while that happened, I did manage to miss Jaja on the newbie side of things, getting a hold of the Roche. I'm sorry, the Aegis. That is essentially going to give him another 50 cents in the machine if he happens to go down. Let's take things to Jaja TV right now. How about that? Okay, so this is where I push towards mid. And this is a little bit big, a little bit obtrusive. I'll try and fix it.
That should help.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
All right, here we go. As you guys can see, that was newbie getting away with some towers.
Unseen energies.
Hang on just a moment, guys. I'm trying to fix this, as you guys can clearly see.
I'll take your tribute.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like this could be a final push coming in now from Newbie, as we do see them immediately pick up a double kill. I don't know if the buybacks are even available on some of these guys. To see Jaja going in there and going ham right now, along with the Death Prophet on the team. Checking this out right now, they've already managed to take down, of course, the middle barracks. Here we are now. That is going to be an attempted chase down coming in from their side of things, but on the whole, we have to be real here. I don't think Newbie's going to be losing this fight. Yes, wow, well, never mind. They lost 2 players in that position, but they still have... hang on just a moment. As long as they have Death Prophet as well as, I'm trying to identify Chaos Knight, Jaja, they should be okay. Go. Trying to push out again just a little bit as PPX right now. It's 27 to 27, so in that regards, we definitely see Newbie catching up. But the problem is they've also got the map control and they've got the middle barracks and turret tower down. Now this tower is going to be falling very shortly. This goes without saying. The barracks not long after either. Death Prophet's just chasing down the entire team. Level 22. Fully built. All the tier 3 items that he's been looking for. And that's going to be the barracks falling. Immediately, they're trying to chase this down now, but I don't think it's going to work in their favor after all of that. You can see already it's 2 for 2, 3 for 0. Now it looks like that's how it's going to be. It's just a straight up GG coming in from the PPX side of things. They had a pretty strong start on this game. They had a very strong start. They had a very strong start, but as time developed, both Jaja had a poor start in all of this, but managed to catch it up eventually. Remember, he did die early. Like, it felt like within the time span of 2 minutes, he had died 3 times early on in the early stages of this game. I don't mean to say in the first 2 minutes of the game. I mean to say rather in the first 5 minutes of the game. There was 1 2-minute window where we saw Jaja, aka Jaja, aka the Chaos Knight, die 3 times in 2 minutes. It was, I guess you could say he was playing the catch-up game this entire match, the second game. But as the saying goes, better late than never, and he managed to bring his team into victory in game number 2. So that's going to be Newbie Young taking this best of 2-0. Congratulations to them, guys. We're going to take things in a short break, and then we'll be back ASAP. Don't go away.
First blood.
Your middle tower is falling.
You think Kaka knew I stole his rum?
Double kill. my head!
Hey, little buddy, it's in the bag.
XBet, best odds for esport and live betting. Unique gaming lines for all esport disciplines including Dota and CSGO, casino and live dealers. Highest payouts, 100% bonus on your first deposit. Wanna become as rich as Alchemist in a few simple clicks? Start playing on XBet.
Everything's better with Scepter. Oh, yeah.
Radiant victory.
XBet, best odds for esport and live betting. Unique gaming lines for all esport disciplines including Dota and CSGO, casino and live dealers. Highest payouts, 100% bonus on your first deposit. Wanna become as rich as Alchemist in a few simple clicks? Start playing on XBet.